You brought us a movie all the way from Vietnam, and to be very honest, like whenever I travel, when I come back, people ask me, and how is the gay life in wherever I went to? So I haven't been to Vietnam, so if you would have to put it in just a few words, how is it to be gay in Vietnam? Is it something that it's kind of like under a cover of the society? Is it very open and you can be whoever you want, or somewhere in between?
Actually, contradicting to what people think of Vietnam as, you know, an Asian country, probably very conservative. But actually, Vietnam is very open-minded to LGBT and the gay culture. There's a lot of I don't think the government is recognizing gay marriage yet, but family and the people are very supportive of gay marriage nowadays. We also have Pride in Vietnam. LGBT themed films in Vietnam is very open and being supported by the audience as well.
And your movie is not only taboo breaking because of the gay relationship, it's also talking about sort of a Romeo and Juliet story, bringing different societies and very different people together. I think many artists are thinking of making conversations between very different types of people, because that's the only way for us to make a change. Right. But how did you specifically think of somebody very artistic working in an opera and somebody who is coming to work? No, but I did see the trailer and I read about it, so I know about it was really touching for me that you're bringing somebody in who is about money, about sort of violence. How did you choose these two specific characters to represent the differences and bring them together?
Actually, it was inspired by a real person. There's a gangster, notorious gangster in Vietnam. He, ever since the 90s, got captured and executed. But he was well known for very supportive of Vietnamese opera and opera performers. And I thought it was a very interesting thing to see that art doesn't discriminate. Art can touch anybody from all walks of life, from whoever you think they are during the broad daylight, but deep inside, art has the power to touch people. And that was the initial inspiration for the character of the loan shark. And then I just want to make it more interesting and push the boundary more. Instead of him having a crush on a female opera performer, I wanted to see, well, what if we push the boundary and pushing the envelope and have him have feelings for a male performer, the contrast between being very macho and yet, because also Vietnamese opera in Vietnam also being viewed as something very feminine, not very masculine. And so I figure if he's gonna love, if this macho gangster guy gonna able to love opera, then what if he in love with a male performer? And you know, I want to change people, express people in Vietnam perspective about what a gay man supposed to be like. Because especially in film and TV in Vietnam, gay characters, gay people always be portrayed as very stereotype, and they use for comedy purposes to make people laugh. And I want to take away all of those typical stereotype gay characteristic. And also I want to take away all of the typical elements of a gay film genre, which is sex and nudity. And I want to see if the audience can follow and be touched by this just two human beings.
So you did not basically use the sexual scenes at all to
not a single sex scenes and no nudity. And
that's huge. Like usually, you know, they say sex sells, and right. You're making a film and it's a complicated right. subject, and yet what was the decision based on? You didn't want to upset people? Or really it's just...
No, it's just, you know, with my other two short films, before Song Lang was also gay-themed filmed, and also I approach it with the way that no sex and no nudity as well. Because my thing is, when you think of a gay genre film, when you turn on Netflix and you go on a gay LGBT genre, just the poster alone, you see is usually a naked male, a sex photo, or even the title is very sexual. That's what they use to draw people in. And I want to see, can people still be moved by a gay love story without all of those elements? I want to see if I have what it takes to tell a story of two human beings falling in love and they just happen to be men without all of those little, bedazzled stuff to distract the audience. And that's why my decision was like, no sex, no nudity. And hopefully people will still able to feel for the characters and fall in love with the characters.
Well, you will see lots of almost naked men on the streets of Tel Aviv. It's Pride season. It's very hot. And anyway, Tel Avivians love to flaunt. So I just want to ask you, do you have a bucket list of what you're going to do in Tel Aviv? Places to go, parties to attend, I don't know, maybe go to Jerusalem, whatever?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. This is my my first time ever here. My dream to be in Israel. And it just so happened to be during Gay Pride. I'm not so much of I don't drink. I'm not much of a party guy. But, of course I'm going to do all of the tourist thing.
Those guys are the favorite ones of the Tel Avivian ones who are usually not partying and they are not going, so watch out.
Okay, I will.
Thank you so much for being here and thank you so much for making the movie.
Yes, thank you for having me.